Welcome to Always Funny in Las Vegas. I'm Ed Regine. I'm your host. We have two great comedians today you're going to meet, and we have a wonderful crowd here, and it's very exciting to be here, and I'm happy that you guys showed up. So I'm the kind of guy, I got to tell you, I'm curious about things. You know, I like to ask these crazy questions. For example, what is malarkey? And how do you know when you're full of it? Does it leak out somewhere? You're like, hey, Bob, you got something dripping out of your ear. Oh, it's malarkey. I'm full of it. And what is a niche? And how do you know when you're losing it and you can't find it? Where do you put it? I had a guy tell me, I can't find my niche. I said, well, where'd you put it last? He's like, I don't remember. You're an idiot. These are things that go through my mind while I'm like doing nothing. I don't know. I want to know this. If a French doctor wants a urine specimen from a patient, does he just say, oui, oui, monsieur? These are the things I want to know. If a cop arrests a mime, does he have to tell him you have the right to remain silent? I want to know this. If you don't pay your exorcist, do you get repossessed? I love this crowd. If you're on the phone with a ventriloquist, do you wonder if his lips are moving?
No.
And why do you have to put your 2 cents in when you only get a penny for your thoughts? Somebody's getting gypped a penny. Do idiots ever get wisdom teeth? And finally, I want to know, where are the people you would touch with a 10-foot pole? We may have some right in our audience. Well, thank you very much. We have a great show lined up for you, and we'll be right back with our first comic, and you're going to love this guy. He's amazing. So don't go anywhere. Just stay where you are. We'll be right back. And remember, it's always funny in Vegas. And welcome back to Always Funny in Vegas. It's my pleasure now to introduce a guy. This guy you're probably going to recognize. He's done a ton of movies. He was from L.A. He's lived there. He did a lot of films, and you're going to recognize him. I know you are. He's a character actor. He's great. He's also a very funny comedian. He headlines all over Las Vegas. He works all the comedy clubs. He works some special events. He's always working, and we love to have him, and he has a very busy schedule, but we are lucky enough to have him here today. So please give a big, warm welcome to our first guest today, Mr. Ron Coleman.
Oh, all right. Thank you. All right, it's great to be here. A lot of couples here tonight. That's good to see. Yeah. I used to be part of a couple. Not anymore. Yeah. I was married once. I was married to a school teacher. Yeah. I used to write her poetry, and she'd correct it and give it back to me. She was always correcting me. I'd say, do you want some more coffee? She'd say, would you like some more coffee? Do you want to go out to dinner? Would you like to go out to dinner? Do you want to have sex? No. Then she'd say stupid stuff like, you don't motivate me. You don't inspire me. I said, what am I, Tony Robbins? What are you training for the Olympics all of a sudden? You want me to cheer you on when you make a sandwich? She says, oh, what do you know? You're always at the gym. You're always working out. Why don't you take me to the gym so I can lose some of this baby fat? I said, baby fat? The kid's 16. You can drive you to the park, run around a little. Yeah. I got married way too young. I was 42. That's way too young. Throwing your life away in some pipe dream like that. I think if you're going to get married, you should wait till at least never. You should never get married. That's my advice. If you're going to get married, wait till you're at least 60 or something. Have a kid when you're 62. That way when he's 18, you'll be 80. So if he turns out to be a loser, you'll be almost dead. Or your son's a real loser. I know. Leave me alone. I'll be dead soon. So now I'm back out in the dating world. That's a lot of fun. I went out with this waitress from the comedy club a couple of weeks ago. We both worked nights, so I took her on a little picnic. Then we went horseback riding. That night at the club, she was walking kind of funny. She told all the other waitresses that she spent the day riding a horse. Now we got all these waitresses calling me up. My baby disappointed. I never know what age to date, you know. I went out with this younger woman for a while. And she was gorgeous, dumb as a rock. God, I miss her. She actually thought my last name was Marriott because that's what the towels in my bathroom said. One time I asked her if she liked art, and she said, "Art who?" I got to call her. She was, We went on a weekend getaway to L.A. one time. We were in Manhattan Beach. We're standing on the Manhattan Beach pier. It's a beautiful day. It's clear, sunny. And she goes, "God, it's so clear today. Look at that. You can see Hawaii." I said, "That's Catalina." I go, "That's 14 miles from here. Hawaii is 2,500 miles from here." She said, "Oh, I never knew that. I was never so turned on in my life." I gotta call her soon. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm back out dating, so not a lot of fun. I never know. I dated an older woman for a while, you know. She was always giving me advice, you know. That's not good. That's not good. Like, you know, get a job and stuff like that. That's just bad advice. Yeah. This friend of mine gets married. He got married once. Yeah. And he calls me up and says, "Hey, we're coming to Vegas for my bachelor party." What a disaster that was. I was talking to him the other day. He's all excited because he's still in the honeymoon stage. That's the best part of marriage, isn't it? The honeymoon stage. Oh, let's go wine tasting. Let's go hot air ballooning. Let's go canoeing down the Colorado River. Yeah, give it a couple of years. It's like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to go to Big Lots? Yeah. Go to Big Sale on Canned, take the minivan and get right over there. That's when you know the marriage is over. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Ron Coleman. One more time for Ron Coleman. Come on. Ron Coleman, and we'll be back with lots more Funny in Vegas. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to Always Funny in Vegas. I'm here with Ron Coleman. Man, that was hysterical. Great job, man.
Thank
Great.
you.
And thanks for coming. Really appreciate you showing
no
up.
problem. Anytime. Yeah.
So tell us about LA. Now, I know you did a lot of film out there, right?
Yeah, I started out as a stuntman in movies. That was my goal, was to be a stuntman. So I started doing a bunch of movies, and then I ended up on Dukes of Hazzard, that show, and Jimmy Best, who played Roscoe P. Coltrane, said, "You stunt guys should come to my acting class. I'll teach you how to act and throw you through a wall." And I went, "Okay." So all the stunt guys started going there, and somehow I started getting laughs in there. I was never funny in my life. And then somebody goes, "Oh, you should do stand-up." So I went, "All right, I'll give that a shot." And here I am.
So when did you start the stand-up? When did you make the transition, actually?
What year?
Well, I mean, you were in L.A.
Yeah, I was in L.A.
And then you decided to try stand-up. Did you do the stand-up in L.A.?
Yeah, I started out in
L.A.
Yeah. And I'd been doing comedy about a year in L.A., and I got booked out here in Vegas to catch Rising Star. So I had been doing comedy, I think, a year. I never knew what year I started. And then I was at Catch Rising Star, and Stephen Byer used to play the piano when people were entering, and then he would introduce the host. And he said, "Mike Tyson just got knocked out by Buster Douglas." And he introduced me, and I went out to just a disaster. But the show went well. But that was in 1990, so I guess I started in 89.
89. So you've been doing it a while.
Yeah.
And now you're headlining all over Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm anywhere.
Which is great. And I've had the opportunity to work with you a couple of times.
We had a great
and we always have a great time.
Yeah.
So now you made the transition. I do some acting as well. And what do you feel is more rewarding? Is it the acting? Is it the comedy? It's kind of hard to.
I like the comedy more because it's more instant.
Well, you get that. You get that immediate reaction. Yeah. If you shoot something, you're like, I wonder if it was any good. I wonder if they're going to like it.
When's this coming out? I go, this thing's never coming out. That happened once.
Straight to video.
Yeah. I said I was on a Terminator. I worked on a Terminator. Somebody said, "When's this coming out?" I said, "This hunk of junk's never coming out." The script was horrible. Arnold Schwarzenegger, not a big star back then. And that movie became a big
Get down.
Yeah. When he said, "I'll be back," I was standing 5 feet away, and I go, "Well, that's nothing." And now it's a huge thing.
Oh my God, it's like a classic.
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, acting is great, but like you said, you never get that immediate reaction. So you're like, I hope I did it right. And then I think after you do it, you just say, if the director's okay with it, I must have did okay.
Oh yeah.
So where can people see you now around Vegas?
This week I'm at Delirious Comedy Club right off Fremont Street in Vegas. I played all over. I started out at Catch Rising Star. I've done Brad Garrett's.
There's Brad Garrett's room. I know you've done Jimmy Kimmel room. You've done you've done them all. Stratosphere. You're everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I try to be everywhere.
You are.
Yeah, I travel
you're very
a lot.
funny.
Thank you.
People love you. Every time we work together, you do tremendous.
Yeah.
So I want to just ask about your living now. You were in L.A., but now you're definitely here.
Yeah, I moved out here with my family like 23 years ago, and then the family broke up. Well, they kicked me out. The wife did. So now I've been out here 23 years, and I took a break for 20 years.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, when was that?
I was like 7 years into my comedy thing, and I didn't do comedy for 20 years.
Okay.
And I was living here in Vegas, and Barnhart lives here, so I called up Don Barnhart.
Right,
and I said, I'm making a comeback. And he said, all right, come on back.
It's amazing that you're at this level where you can headline and make people laugh after a 20-year hiatus. We have a friend who hasn't done comedy in 30 years and wants to get back into it, and I'm just thinking it's so difficult to do that.
It was harder the second time. The
Yeah.
first time you're more enthusiastic and you're just more
I think it's a
hungry.
repetitious thing.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you come back and keep doing it, the better and easier it gets.
Yeah, it's like an athlete. If they took 4 years off and try to come back, it's a little rough.
Yeah, it is. Look what happened to Muhammad Ali. Those 3.5 years probably cost him his injuries and all of that.
Yeah, and George Foreman. He retired at I think 25.
Yeah, and then he took
He took a long
did
time
a sabbatical.
off.
But you're back.
I'm back.
You're back. You're headlining. You're working all over the place,
Yeah.
and these folks can see you anywhere.
Pretty much all over Vegas. Yep. Anywhere.
So look for Ron Coleman. If you enjoyed his comedy today, I'm sure you're going to love him live. Again, he'll do a full set, 30, 45 minutes, whatever it is. He's a great headliner, and we're so happy that he showed up today. And Ron, I want to thank you so much for coming. One more time for Ron Coleman. Ron Coleman. And we'll be back with Always Funny in Vegas. Don't go anywhere. We have another great guest coming up. And welcome back to Always Funny in Vegas. I'm standing right here next to a legend in comedy, a legend in performing, a legend in Las Vegas, Mr. Cliff Lawrence, who has done it all. He co-starred with Rich Little in Copycats. He was on 3 different Broadway shows, and he's bothering me right now, but he's here, and he's a very funny guy. He does impressions. He's got over 1,000 voices he can do. He's just amazing, and he is actually he is a legend here in Las Vegas. Everyone knows who this gentleman is, and we are so thrilled that he decided to come and help us out today. So please give a big, warm, loving welcome for Mr. Cliff Lawrence.
Thank you very much. My name is Wayne Newton. I'd like to welcome you all to It's Always Funny in Las Vegas. Thank you very much. Hey, this is Jack Nicholson. My God, I'd like to welcome you all to It's Always Funny in Vegas. Hi, this is George Burns. I'd like to welcome you all that came back down from heaven just to wish you all a very happy new year and welcome to Always Funny in Vegas. And I remember, thank you very much. I remember back in the day, one day I'm walking down the street and this woman comes up to me, she says, "Hey, aren't you George Burns?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "I'll do anything you want for $100. I said, "Well, paint my house." The other day I'm at a baseball game, and I'm just sitting down and watching a game, and all of a sudden I feel something down on my foot. I look down and there's a frog on my foot. I can't believe it. I look down and the frog starts talking to me. He says, "Hey," so I'm not really a frog. I'm really a beautiful princess. And if you kiss me, I'll turn back into her and make love to you the rest of your life. I said, "Wow." So I pick up the frog, I put it in my pocket. Later on, I go home and I take the frog out of my pocket and I put it up on a mantelpiece. Well, that's the frog says, "Hey, don't you understand?" I said, "I'm a beautiful princess. If you kiss me, I'll turn back into her and make love to you the rest of your life." I said, "To tell you the truth, at my age, I'd rather have a talking frog." Years ago, I invited to George Burns's, I think it was like his maybe 95th or 96th birthday party. So I had never met him, didn't know, I knew who he was naturally. Everybody knew who George was. And I'm sitting across, and I guess across the room, he's probably about 30, 40 feet away from me. I see him go like this. So I turn around, I go, "Huh?" He goes. So I go over, he says, "Are you Cliff?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You do a great me." I said, "Well, thank you very much." I said, "But," I learned it from Rich Little. He goes, oh, no, you didn't. He said, you're doing much better. I said, really? So Rich is standing behind me. So I said, George, you're going to get me fired. He said, no, don't worry about it. If he fires you, I'll hire you. You know? And we took some great pictures, and George, two of us standing together. Met a lot of people throughout my life. I became good friends with Rodney. I'll tell you, I don't get no respect at all, Take today, for instance. Had a terrible day today, terrible. Woke up this morning, put my shirt on, my button fell off. Picked up my briefcase, the handle fell off. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. I got in a car accident today, too. Car accident was terrible. Called up my insurance company, the Good Hands people. They gave me the finger. I'll tell you, my wife treats me terrible, too. All started my honeymoon night. She said, hey, Rodney, close your eyes while I slip into something more comfortable. She did. Another hotel. Yesterday, she brings home a pet goat. I said, hey, you can't bring that goat in here. What about the smell? She said, don't worry. He'll get used to you like I did. Went to my dentist today. Found out my wisdom tooth was stupid. Top it all off, I'm sitting there in a chair trying to be real cool, real suave, I said, hey, Doc, what can I do about my yellow teeth? He said, wear a brown tie. What a terrible day today, terrible, We just got a new dog, though. We got a new dog for Christmas. We call him Egypt because he leaves little pyramids all over the house. I'm on a new drug now. The doctor told me I got to loosen up a little bit, so right now I'm taking Viagra and prune juice. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Am I done? Okay, I said I'm finished. Get out of here, okay?
Cliff Lawrence! One more time for Cliff Lawrence. Amazing! That was amazing. That's only a few of the voices. He does over 1,000 voices. But we're going to get back with Cliff. We're going to have a nice conversation. But first, we're going to break away for a minute. But remember, we're always funny in Vegas. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Always Funny in Vegas. Cliff Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's hear one more time. That was incredible. That was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So you worked with Rich Little. You were co-star in the Copycats.
Copycats.
And who else was in that show? There were some other people. Right?
Well, Travellini came in once in a while.
Fred
Frank Horst
Travellini.
and George Kirby, they would stop in. And we used to have a thing on stage, a big Hollywood Square set.
Uh-huh.
And it was actually a great big set, and we would jump from square to square. Mm-hmm. And I would jump from square to square. My wife used to be one of the contestants when she used to work at the Rio. On her nights off, she would come over and be the contestant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So were you the...
It was me, Gordy Brown, Pam Madison, and Rich Little. And
Were you the center? Were you the center square?
Sometimes. Oh my goodness.
Paul Lynn, right? So you're like the mayor of Vegas. You're like the king of Vegas. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows about you. How does that feel to be like so known by your peers right here in Las Vegas? You've been here for such a long time.
I don't go out of the house anymore.
You don't leave the house?
Yeah, I don't want anybody to see me.
Well, you need to take the...
A couple of hits were put on me throughout the
You need to take the National Guard. You don't really need them surrounding your house.
My wife protects me a lot, She's been poking me since I sat down.
So now you've been doing it for a long time.
Yep, sure have been.
And then you kind of semi-retired.
Yeah, I just had enough.
You just had enough, and you just wanted to get away from it. You did it all. You felt like you've accomplished everything you could possibly accomplish. You had a great time. You met all these amazing people. You worked with some of the most incredible people in show business.
Yes, I did.
And you kind of retired.
Yeah.
And I almost kind of like pulled you out of retirement for this.
You did. Last week you did it again with the American Club. And this morning you woke me up.
I did.
I tell you what happened. You know what happened? He wakes me up. I'm dead asleep, and he says, "You got to come down and help me out." So I get into the shower, and I look down. I still got my pajamas on. I have my pajamas on my side. Going, "Oh Jesus Christ!" I actually have my pajamas on.
I can't believe you did that.
First time I did that. Usually I'm naked. That's a horrible sight enough.
Oh, we don't want to know about that. Please spare us. My wife doesn't even want to see me naked. It's not a pretty. No, it's not a pretty sight, folks. The human body, really, when you think about it, it's all not that.
When you're young, you're virile, good looking.
Well, when you're young,
okay.
How would Jackie Mason say that? When you're young.
When you're young, you look good. This guy, I say so many times.
Do you remember the time that he gave Ed Sullivan the finger?
This guy gave me the finger. I'm looking over the side of the room. He's giving me the finger. I'm not going to give him the finger. This guy gave me the finger. He told me to get off the stage. I don't want to give him the finger. He's crazy. We can cut this shit out, right? Okay, never mind.
We're going to cut your whole segment out.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so let me set it up.
Okay.
Cliff, we're buddies. You know, we talk on the phone, and he told me this incredible story about Robert Wagner, who you guys might know what I'm talking about. And share it with the people.
It took me about 2 years to learn Robert Wagner's voice. I was always a big Robert Wagner fan. Heart to Heart, It Takes a Thief. So I come off the road with Rich Little, and Robert Wagner's name is up on the sign at the airport. It says Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers at the Desert Inn in love letters. So I said, well, it's pretty cool. So Rich says, why don't you do something? I said, what do you mean do something? He goes, all those scams that you pull, calling up different people. I go, I don't know, See, so I get home. I said, I don't know if I could think of anybody. So I get home. I'm laying around the house like a bum for a couple of days, and finally I go, I got it. So I called up Marty Allen, one of my best friends. I said, hey, Mart. I said, who's handling the Robert Wagner tour? He says, what do you want to know for? I said, I'm just curious who's handling the tour. I want to wish them luck. He says, Jay Harvey, who was a big agent at William Morris. So I said, yes, give me his number. He says, no. I said, come on, Marty. He goes, Cliff, you're going to get me in trouble. I said, Marty, I promise I won't mention your name. So Marty gives me the number, and he hangs up on me and says, go to hell, drop that. And he hangs it up on me, So I call up William Morris, Jay Harvey's office. Just so happens Jay's there, thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't have this story. So he picks up, he says, Jay Harvey Productions, can I help you, please? I said, yeah, Jay. I said, it's me. It's Bob Wagner. He says, hey, Bobby, how you doing? I said, I'm great, Jay. I said, I'm a little bit concerned about the new tour that we're starting with love letters across the country. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, I noticed that our first date is at the Desert Inn for 2 weeks. And I called around town, and they said that Comdex is in town, so we're not going to have any business. So I'm going to have to cancel the show. He says, what? You can't cancel a show. This is the start of your national tour. I said, listen, Jay, I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I said, I talked to Steffi this morning, and Steffi says the same thing. We're just going to cancel the show. He says, there has to be another reason that you're going to cancel the show. I said, I checked all over in Las Vegas. I checked all over Hollywood, and everybody's in agreement. He says, on what? I said that you were the biggest asshole in show business. He says, what? What? Who would say such a terrible thing? I said, I really don't like to mention any names, but there's this impressionist in Las Vegas that says you're an asshole. He said, really, what's his name? I said, his name is Cliff Lawrence. He said, Cliff, I know Cliff really well. He says, what else did he say about me? He says, I got you bad, mother clucker.
Cliff Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen. So before we go.
Yeah. Rodney Stowe? Nothing else? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I'll tell him okay,
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
But
I'm all right now.
Before we go.
Are you kidding me, Doc?
I just want to know.
You want to know
have we?
Hey, brother, ain't I your stinker? Come on.
You done?
Play. You know how Sylvester Stallone got his name?
No.
His mother was a cartoon fan. He said, what should we name our son? Let me see.
Okay. We'll wipe that off.
Okay.
So I just want to know one thing.
My wife's favorite impression, Tweety Bird.
Help, Dwayne.
Okay, what else?
Have we lured you out of retirement?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm sure these folks would want to see you again sometime. Is that not true? Yeah, so there you go. Anyways,
keep those
a
cards
legend,
coming,
a legend in his own mind,
That's
right
it.
here, Cliff
A
Lawrence.
legend in his own mind.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we'll be back again with another installment of Always Funny in Vegas. So stay tuned, keep watching. We have so many talented people to show you. Always Funny in Vegas. Thanks, Cliff. Don't give it to me. I've already got one.